out Old, made him 12th man, and then left out Edmonds from the 13. Gilmore was 12th man for Australia, as expected. Dennis Lillee began bowling from the nursery end the first over of the match, but it was surprising to see Max Walker not given the second over from the pavilion end. Instead, Chappell threw the ball to Jeff Thomson. We join play now with Thomson bowling the second over of the day, and the batsman is the recalled Barry Wood.
He's bowling to 4 slips a gully and 2 leg slips. No ball called, so it's not a good start again for Jeff Thomson at Lord's. Good start for Barry Wood, a nice clip off the toes there, past Walker at leg slip. Oh, that must be close. Yes, indeed, the first wicket for Australia, Barry Wood. And Dennis Lillee gets the breakthrough. The confrontation between Lillee and Wood in the county game against the Australians the other day, and now Lillee has claimed that first wicket of this second test match with just 10 runs on the board. There it is again, and my word, that did look plumb. And Lillee has claimed Wood's wicket for 6, 10 the total. John Edridge not out 2. It's a good shot, off the mark, 4 runs. It's in the air, but well out of Max Walker's reach, and 4 runs to John Edridge. 24 for 1, 9 to Edridge and 5 to David Steele, who faces Dennis Lillee. Another good shot. He kept that down very well. Umpire Ali signals 4, and Steele goes on now to 9. 2 good strokes off shortish deliveries from Dennis Lillee by David Steele. That's well bowled. Edridge the second wicket down to Dennis Lillee again. 2 breakthroughs this morning for Dennis Lillee. 29 for 2 England. He's bowled superbly. Thomson has been very much astray in both line and length, but Lillee has broken through for Ian Chappell. And this most valuable wicket of John Edridge, that darted back off the seam, and again looked to be very much in front. 29 for 2.
So this drop down the order hasn't made a great deal of difference to Dennis Amiss. He's still in with a lot of shine on the new ball. He's still facing Dennis Lillee, the man who's upset him on so many occasions in recent test matches. And he's given him out, and that's the 3rd one to Bill Ali. And Amiss has gone again for yet another nought, and Lillee is the man who's done the damage. And I must say that looked pretty plumb from here, and Amiss falling again to Lillee, the 3rd Englishman out on 32. And Lillee ripping again right through this opening English batting. And you couldn't get anything more plumb than that. Sorry sight for English supporters. Wood, Edridge, Amiss, all gone, all in the identical manner, LBW to Dennis Lillee, and no doubt at all, every one of them looking absolutely plumb. Well, he gets his run, he gets off the mark, off the no ball. So, big sigh of relief, I'm quite sure, there from Graham Gooch. His first run against Australia, remember, he bagged the pair. He's got a little grin there, and I'm sure a work from friendly Bill Ali, the umpire there. Oh, fine shot. What a great shot there by Dennis Steele. That's the way to play the bouncer. In position beautifully. That's the third time he's hooked him away. This boy is not frightened. A great shot to Dennis Steele.
Well, this is what I think English batsmen have been waiting for. All England have been waiting for. The bouncer, and look how beautifully he gets behind it and dispatches it to the square leg boundary. That really is what we've been waiting for from an English batsman.
Well played too. Just away square on the offside. Ball running away down this fast outfield, and that's 4 more. So something at last for the English supporters to cheer and clap about. That's better. That's 4 runs all the way. Got into position nicely there, had time to force it away on the offside. And a boundary there to Graham Gooch will do him a power of good.
Yes, that was the shot that Graham Gooch played so well in the MCC Australian match here at Lord's, when he made 70-odd in such splendid style. And here you see it just short, outside the off stump, and how he gets over the top of it, down to third man, where there's no third man for 4 runs.
And that's it, caught behind. Little Snick heard all over the ground here. Dennis Lillee claims his 4th victim. And England rocket to 49 for 4 with Gooch caught by Marsh with his score on 6.
Here you see the dismissal of Graham Gooch, and you can see there really it was outside the off stump, and the Essex boy didn't really have to play at that one.
It's a good shot. It's in the air, but it's well away from Lillee and firmly struck away straight down to the far end of the ground. Thompson not quite getting away on his right-hand side far enough, and it's 4 runs. Very quick down that slope. This Lord's ground slopes from left to right as you look at your screen, and anything played away on that side, where Greg played that onto the onside, batting at the nursery end, really does race away across the outfield, and the outfield is very fast.
Very confident appeal there for LBW, but Tony Greig was on his front foot. Let's see this one once again. Well, it couldn't have been far away. I should certainly say that was worth a shout. It may possibly, having come down the slope a little too much and missing the leg stump by a fraction.
And it's to be Jeff Thompson to bowl to Steele. Nice stroke, kept that down well. 4 more to David Steele, takes him on to 30. Again, a good firm stroke, and Edwards, the man chasing, just take 2 runs. Fine shot, 4 runs. Beautifully timed by Steele. He's strong on the onside. Just a bounce before it got to Turner, I think. Yes, it was a good effort from the young opening batsman, just round the corner there at short square leg, a fraction backward behind the line of the batting crease. It didn't quite carry to him. Bouncing just 2 or 3 inches in front there, and Turner scooping it up on the half volley. That's well bowled by Max Walker. Shot from Tony Greig.
Lilly again to Tony Greig. Well played, standing up pretty straight and driving it on the up for 4, square on the offside. Moves it into the 20s to 23. And England 94 for 4. Lilly to Greig. Pushed out in the covers, and that's the 50 partnership. Ross Edwards fields. A very determined looking England captain. Steele facing Lilly. Hits in beautifully off the back foot for 4 runs down the hill on a very fast outfield. The 100 up. Lilly again to Steele. He hooks in for 4, and the crowd really enjoying this. Lilly dispatched for 4, a bad ball. Lilly again to Greig. Pushing that away through the open space in front of square, and I think it's got enough run on it for 4.
Interesting field there now with 2 slips, 2 gullies, 2 short legs. Chappell always moving his men around. There's a big gap. Half volley beautifully driven by Greig. Ross Edwards a long chaser, and the ball gathering pace the whole time, through for 4 more. And that's flicked away to deep long leg. Greig will be looking for the second. He's hurrying, he's coming back, and there he comes. Great long legs, bringing him through to a really excellent 50. He really has taken some of this Australian bowling by the scruff of the neck. He's got through to 50 in only 86 minutes when England were in a lot of trouble. He's included 8 boundaries in this, and although it's an old cliche, a real captain's innings here. 50 out of 134 for 8 from Tony Greig. Oh, it's a great shot. Cut away through the slips, no third man, nobody bothering to chase it. Speeding through for yet another boundary. His 9th. And Tony Greig in tremendous form, moving on now to 54. So a switch to spin for the first time by Ian Chappell. Ashley Mallett coming into bowl at the pavilion end. David Steele on 49. David Steele going through to his 50, hammering that off the back foot through to mid-wicket. And what a great performance this has been from David Steele of Northamptonshire. The cricketer's choice, really, for a place in this Test side, and how well he's merited his inclusion. Battled against adversity from the moment he came in, and he's made 50 out of 143 for 4. Jeff Thompson making sure they're just pushing the bowling further back. Again, had troubles with overstepping the crease. A lot of no balls from him. He's bowled him. So Thompson breaking through, beating David Steele there with that extra little bit of pace. And that fairly hurried through. So the end of a remarkably good innings in his first Test match by David Steele. Pulled England out of trouble, scored a really excellent 50. And this big Lord's crowd rising to him. They appreciate the display of guts and determination that we've seen here by David Steele today. So a fine start to his Test match career. An excellent 50, but he's the 5th England man out with the score on 145. See again this ball from Jeff Thomson. A little inside edge. Just a little bit late on that, the extra pace there of Thomson seeing it through. 163 minutes, he batted and hit 9 fours. So Alan Knott down to face the off spinner. There's an extra short leg gone in for the Little Kent wicketkeeper. Pleased about that. A bad ball from Mallet, dropped very, very short, and Alan Knott confidently off the mark, hammering it away to a big gap on the offside. So a nice present to him there to get off the mark. Takes England past the 1 total. Little indication in his first few overs here of any spin or help at all for Mallet. Another bad ball. Really an atrocious long hop, pulled away to mid-wicket. Similar ball to the one he presented Alan Knott with to get off the mark. Alan Knott hit it through the offside for 4. Tony Greig pulling it away to mid-wicket.
Another good delivery from Thomson to the saver, leading Greig outside off stump. Four runs, so it's an eventful over. No balls, wides, a straight-driven boundary, 2 balls beating Greig's bat, and finally a snick through the slips for 4. Good shot. There's no man there at mid-on. It's rather a strange-looking field for Alan Knott. He's picked the gap nicely, and that outfield is very fast. And the 50 partnership comes up, and another very good one for England. Great stroke. .200 up for England now, and what a good performance, having been 49 for 4. They've fought back doggedly at first, and now in attacking fashion, 203 for 5. And he's caught him for 96, just 4 short of that 100, and Max Walker has broken through. Ian Chappell, the man taking the catch. A good delivery from Walker. Greig aiming to steer it away past square point. And the 6th England wicket has gone down with a total at 222. Tony Greig caught Ian Chappell, bowled Max Walker for 96. A splendid innings from Tony Greig. Wonderful attacking innings after 4 wickets had fallen for 49. He shared a partnership with Steele and then Alan Knott, and this is his last delivery. It didn't seem to move very much off the seam, but found the outside edge with Greig trying to steer it away, perhaps just forward of point.
And as Lilly comes in, 245 for 6. Alan Knott now on 48. Alan Knott on 50, beautiful shot, pulled away square. And not really the pace in this wicket for the bouncer of Lilly. Put away nicely by Knott, moving on to yet another Test match 50, his 22nd in his career. And short, pulled away nicely by Warmer, found the gap down a deep long leg.
What a good stroke. And that won't be cut off. That's 4 runs to Alan Knott. He clipped that beautifully off his legs. And he's given him out. Yes, Alan Knott trying to hit it wide of mid-on. Missed it and was given out LBW. Now that is a rather nasty blow to England, with Alan Knott playing so well. And here you see the dismissal of Alan Knott. A very well pitched up ball, and you see him hitting the ball right across the line there, hitting it wide of mid-on.
Put him down, and not a difficult catch either. Ian Chappell at slip. It came fairly sharply, but at a reasonable height to Chappell. And it was a good piece of bowling from Mallett, the ball going on with the arm. 2 hands to Chappell, hit him up near the wrist and bounced out.
309 for 7, the score. Irving Rosenwater informs me that Don Bradman once scored 309 off his own bat on the first day of an England-Australia test at Headingley in 1930, which is the score standing to England's credit at the moment. 7 men out. And John Snow's gone for it again, and he's caught. So I don't know how pleased Tony Greig would be with that shot at 6:15, but it's a wicket, a deserved one to Ashley Mallett. John Snow, having previously hit him over the top for 4, falling this time, and Walker taking a good catch at deep mid-on. I must say this young Kent all-rounder's created a most favourable impression here in his first test match. Good temperament, looked calm and composed the whole time he's been there. And that's off the pad, and he's caught it short leg.
And then Peter Lever came in and stayed with Derek Underwood in failing light against Thompson and Mallett to take the total along to 313 for 9 at the close of play. An interesting looking scorecard there. David Steele, the man who held the innings together at the start with Tony Greig after those first 4 wickets, had fallen for 49, all to Lilly. Splendid spell of bowling that by the Australian fast bowler. Then the partnership between Steele and Greig, a very good partnership, and then Greig and Knott. Knott played well, so too did Steele, and the other newcomer, Bob Woolmer, showed some very composed stroke play. Looks a good prospect for the future, but for me, the innings of the day came from Tony Greig. First test match as England's captain, he came in a terrible situation and made a brilliant 96. It really was one of the finest innings I've ever seen from this South African born all-rounder. The tail, John Snow, made 11. It looks now as though England will be all out for something under 350, which Ian Chappell will be pretty pleased about. He attacked all day. He kept his bowlers up with attacking fields. There was a very, very good run rate all day. Dennis Lilly finished with most wickets, 4 for 84 in 20 overs. He took real battering at one stage from Steele and Greig and Alan Knott. Thompson bowled 22 no balls. There were 30 in the day. The rest of them bowled, well, mostly by Max Walker. There were a few wides as well. Thompson was all over the shop early on. He did improve later on and beat the bat quite a bit. Ashley Mallett needed some match practice to get himself back into bowling form. He hasn't bowled a great deal on this tour. He finished up with 2 wickets, and they were thoroughly earned towards the end. He was floating the ball nicely away from the right-hand batsman. Well, what a day this was. This was one of the finest days cricket I've ever seen. It was made so by the initial burst by Dennis Lilly, his 4 wickets in the 4 for 49 disaster for England. And then we had Steele coming in his first test match, playing a really gritty innings, full of courage, and Tony Greig, that masterly innings that Rick McCosker and Alan Turner came out. They encountered a few difficulties with John Snow, not so many with Peter Lever. Snow beat the bat and found the edge on 3 or 4 occasions. And we join play now in the 7th over of the Australian innings. Snow is bowling from the nursery end, and the batsman is the left-hander Alan Turner.
And that's LBW, and John Snow's got the breakthrough, and Bill Alley in action again. Up goes the finger, and Turner is out. LBW to Snow for 9. The first wicket to the Sussex pace bowler. The Australian score on 21 for 1. So yet again, Bill Alley called into action to uphold an appeal here, and once again, that looking as though it would have knocked all three out of the ground.
Good catch by Alan Knott. The breakthrough so desperately wanted by John Snow and Tony Greig. And look at the England team now rushing to congratulate Snow. A great spell of bowling. 2 wickets down for 29. The man out, Ian Chappell. John Snow from the nursery end, bowling to Greg Chappell. Well, that's a good shot. Wasn't a particularly good delivery. John Snow trying to bounce that one at Chappell, but it didn't get up any more than bail height. That's well bowled too. And he's getting him out, LBW. John Snow, his 3rd wicket. Australia 37 for 3. And no wonder England looked delighted. 7 overs, 1 maiden, 3 for 20, John Snow, and Greg Chappell is out leg before wicket for 4.
That's a fine shot. Really was a glorious square cut by Ross Edwards. Took just about 2 seconds, I think, to hit those ropes on the offside. Tremendous amount of power, beautifully timed. It's a good shot. Good length ball that, and it's running away very quickly from Underwood. Very fast outfield, particularly down towards the Tavenham Mount stand there.
Beautifully played through into the extra cover direction for 4 runs. I think we might well see one of the slips coming out. There are 4 there at the moment and a gully. And he's out! And he's caught and bowled by Peter Lever, hitting a little too soon. Ah, goodness me, that was a surprise. He hit too soon at that one. He may have held it back just slightly. So Peter Lever's first wicket, caught and bowled now. Acosta is out. 54 for 4 now, Australia.
See that again. Good, sharp caught and bowl accepted there by Peter Lever. I think it was interesting too, Dennis, that the ball before that he cracked through the covers for 4, in fact, wasn't a half volley. He hit it there on the up, and that one a good length ball too. It's difficult to account how these wickets have gone down. There's been very little movement, just good, sustained, accurate pace bowling. Catch. He stays there, and Doug Walters has gone again, and my word, that went quickly. Walters really throwing the bat. Tremendous catch there by Greig, and yet another failure in this country for the unfortunate Doug Walters. 56 for 5. Who would have believed that when play started here this morning? On a wicket playing well and true, and Walters out for 2. Caught Greig, bowled Lever.
Yes, what an incredible morning for England here. As Jim said, it's such a marvellous batting wicket, and here are the Australians, 56 for 5. And here you see the dismissal of Doug Walters, driving at a ball outside the off stump. And there you see Greggy in the picture there, taking a fine catch at first slip. And look at the joy on everybody's face.
And that was the end of Peter Lever's 6th over, hitting a big hand down at long leg. The crowd on their feet to him. Great scenes of enthusiasm here as Lever takes his position in front of him. 2 for 26 now. So Tony Greig can have a little crack here before lunch, just about 10 minutes. Get a couple of overs in, taking over from Bob Woolmer. He's dropped that short, and Edwards again. No doubt a hesitation at all about that. Beautifully put away through the offside. And Tony Greig clapping, asking, yes, he's given him out. He waited for a minute, and Marsh has gone, and Tony Greig has struck again. And Rod Marsh not looking terribly happy about it. But as soon as the ball flew into the fieldsman's hands, Tony Greig was out. So Ross Edwards going to join him as that's lunch, but let's see again. Well, I think that's open to a little bit of discussion later on, whether in fact he did get a touch on that.
That's the square cut, which he plays so well. .64 for 6 was the astounding score at lunch on a good wicket. And here is Tony Greig really applying the pressure. 3 short legs, silly point and a slip. And the batsman is Max Walker, who's made a single. Max Walker going for the big one and achieving it. Nice stroke off the back foot. My word, this outfield is fast. Derek Underwood picking that up just short of the boundary. They've got 3. And with that stroke, Ross Edwards, says Irving Rosenwater, our scorer, has reached 1,000 runs in Test cricket. All scored in the last 3 years since he made his first Test appearance on the last tour of England in '72.
Snow. Again now to bowl to Max Walker. 4 steps in the gully there. Still a very attacking field. Bowled in. 7 for 81. Walker out. Bowled Snow for 5. A good delivery that from John Snow. Walker may just have got an inside edge to it. But what a breakthrough again for John Snow. His 4th wicket of the innings. Tremendous performance. Tony Greig is the bowler, and he's bowling in his slower off-spin variety. That will probably be 4 runs. A very fine little edge. Off David Steele. Edwards must have hit it very, very hard because it got Steele on the way through and still went for 4 down to fine leg. It's a good-looking shot from Edwards. 4 runs, no chance of cutting that off. The outfield on that side is not quite as fast. The ball's going up the slope instead of down. But that was a fine shot. 10 runs from this over so far, and the total has gone on to 99. Edwards to 37. Great shot. The 100 comes up. Edwards goes on to 41. That's a good attacking approach there from Ross Edwards. 14 from that over, and that might well see the removal of Tony Greig. Good shot. Perhaps he didn't time it quite as he'd have liked, but it's still racing across the boundary. The extra cover man, Peter Lever, had no chance at all of cutting that off. Takes Ross Edwards now on to 47. Takes the total to 111 for 7. 116 needed to avoid the follow-on. 3 wickets in hand. Thompson has made 8.
Peter Lever to Jeff Thompson. Thompson by nature a pretty ferocious hitter of a cricket ball, but playing his part well here in a very subdued fashion. Lever fairly hurrying in now. No ball. The follow-on saved, 116 now for 7.
And it's going to be Peter Lever from the nursery end, bowling to Ross Edwards, 1 for his 50. And there it is. And it's gone down to third man for just the 2 runs. So a very, very magnificent half-century to Ross Edwards, and made at such a crucial time for Australia.
Did well to take a little bit of the sting out of that. It was very powerfully struck by Thompson. Well, there's no problem there in running 4. A fiercely hit drive there by Thompson, just flicking Peter Lever's fingers on its way through. A quicker ball there, beating the attempted onside push by Edwards. It's a leg bye. Hard chance there to Graham Gooch. Life for Jeff Thompson. There's a thick edge flying away to Gooch's left. So not only a miscatch, but the batsman scrambling through for a single, and he's certainly hurt his finger there. A bit of blood coming off. He's cut the finger. Well, it goes down in the book as a chance. A difficult one, away to his left, almost bisecting Gooch at second slip and Greig at first slip. England 12th man, first time he's been out on the field. But of course, from delivering the refreshments, Chris Old. That's 4 runs from the moment it left the bat. Onto that very quickly, forced away on the offside. So Ross Edwards moving now on to 56, leading this Australian recovery. And he's bowled in, and this 50 partnership broken. Underwood strikes his first wicket. Jeff Thompson, a little cross to himself there, hitting across, another perfectly straight ball. And he's clean bowled for 17. First wicket to Derek Underwood. And a perfectly straight ball. And see the bat going across the line. So 133 for 8 at the fall of Jeff Thompson's wicket. So Dennis Lillee crowded here by the extra 2 close catches, slip, silly point, short leg. Well forward to smother that one.
Dennis Lillee has an extremely low grip of the bat. That bottom hand is right down pressing against the blade. That's a good hit, a big hit, right over into the crowd. First 6 of the match. A good blow from Dennis Lillee. A good shot. My word, that was a good stroke from Ross Edwards. He gave himself a little bit of room there and split those 2 men, Dennis Amiss and Derek Underwood. That was a beautiful shot.
Snow to Edwards. There's the one if they wanted it, but Edwards going to retain the strike. It's going through for 4. Occasion though when they could have done with the extra slip. Another glorious square cut by Edwards. It's a shot that's brought him so many runs. So way to go through the 90s. Moves on then to 95. Snow again the sufferer there. And that ball only fractionally short. Perfectly timed. This now the best partnership of the innings. They've put on 60 runs. And that's going through for 4 more. Good, lusty, hearty swing by Dennis Lillee, and Snow suffering then in this over. But the focus now on Ross Edwards. A ring of fielders to try and prevent the single, put on the little bit of pressure. Only 1 slip, another 5 men able to save 1. And he's out LBW. Oh dear, what a disaster for Ross Edwards. He can really never have played a better innings for his country than this. Immense disappointment to him. But he's held the fort there for 201 minutes. He's never looked in any bother at all until his score was on 99. So 15 boundaries, all gloriously struck, and this big crowd in full appreciation of certainly an innings that Ross Edwards will always remember. So it's Edwards out. It's the first wicket in Test match cricket. Flicking the pad, shouting for LBW. And the umpire's finger going up.
It's a splendid stroke off the back foot. Stroke of a real batsman. That's a splendid shot. Picked that up off his toes and clipped it away in the air. It landed some 20 yards in from the boundary. And that's an even better one.
What a great shot from Dennis Lillee. A magnificent six, hooked away, over square leg. A really great stroke. What a great shot again to give him his 50. Levers being severely dealt with out there. He had 8 taken from his first over of this spell, and now Dennis Lillee has assaulted him again in this over and has moved to his own half-century. Round the wicket, Lever. Another classy stroke, and John Snow's not going to be able to cut it off. So Lillee goes to 56. With 4 runs. So now taking advantage of very loose delivery there.
A very strange looking card. Edwards on 99, and the resistance coming from Thomson in the first place, and now of course by Lillee and Mullet. And that swung high into the crowd. It's a big 6 by Dennis Lillee. And what a day he's having. That big 6 over mid-wicket, taking him into the 70s on 72 now. His third 6, and the score going on to 263. That's 4 more. Swung away, Mullet not even bothering to run. Sweet shot played from round about leg middle stump. Well, an interesting change here. David Steele coming on to bowl. Slipping out of his hands there. That's out, LBW, and David Steele has done it. In his first over, broken up this very stubborn last wicket partnership. And Tony Greig absolutely delighted there.
So 268 all out, with Ross Edwards playing probably the innings of his life for 99 in the middle of the Australian order. Ernie McCosker of the early batsmen reached double figures, and then 3 good half-century partnerships between Edwards and Thomson, Edwards and Lillee, and then Lillee and Mallet. Well, at the close of play, England in their second innings had made 5 without loss. Barry Wood had made all of those, and tomorrow we seem set for a marvellous day. The first 2 days have been absolutely great, 2 of the great days in Test cricket history, I should think. It would be a very, very brave man who would try and predict.
Alan Turner. Oh, he's gone. A good catch that, and a good delivery too from Thomson. Marsh had to go away towards the leg side to take it, possibly from an inside edge, and Jeff Thomson has broken through. The first wicket down at 111, which is the England side's unlucky number. Barry Wood out for 52. Court Marsh bowled Thomson. Applause for Barry Wood and for Thomson. Wood, in his comeback to Test cricket, made 6 in the first innings. And 52 in the second. David Steele now will face his first ball from Thompson. Made that splendid 50 in the first innings. And he's off the mark with a 4 there. Rather a streaky one, but to get off the mark is the main thing. It doesn't quite matter how you do it. He has a very good temperament, this fellow.
Guided that skillfully away, past the finer of the 2 short legs, hurrying away to the boundary, and it's another 4 to David Steele. So there's 8 runs, comprising 2 boundaries at the start of this second innings. Ashley Mallet with his off-spinners from the pavilion end. It's a fine shot. Wasn't all that short. Steele really putting it away with a lot of power through the offside. So out of David Steele's 15 runs, he's found the boundary 3 times. Mallet to Steele. Once again, he's worked it away down, fine on the leg side. So most of his runs coming in boundaries. 4 boundaries now to David Steele out of his score of 19. And Jeff Thompson quite pleased to sit down and get a breather. Very hot day. He's had a goodish spell now. We'll start the 8th over of this, his second spell. And another wide. And Jeff Thompson, who was so cool, calm and collected, gradually becoming a little bit angry here with the situation. And this Australian field now down to just 2 slips, gone with the array of close catches, doing the job that they're after, keeping England quiet. But he's a tough character, John Edrich. That's not going to worry him too much. So 4 hours for John Edrich for his 62. And yes, he's got one through. That'll skid away through for 4. So first time he's found the fence for an hour and a half. And moving his total on to 66. Shout for LBW. More in hope than anything else. Richard come down the wicket a fair way.
David Steele's benefit year. Very nice timing for him to make the England side. Thick edge, just as Chappell has moved from ordinary slip to leg slip. And the 150 comes up for England. Their second innings. Sweep and 4 runs, beating Greg Chappell into the fence. Good shot that from Steele. Mallet just straying a fraction towards the leg stump. He picked that up very well indeed. a good stroke. He gave himself a little bit of room there. Ian Chappell got his left hand to it. 175 for 179. John Edrich, and 35 to Steele. It's a more militant approach from John Edrich. Great piece of fielding by Ross Edwards there. Saved one run, to be a certain 4, turned it into a 3.
The shout for LBW, and there's trouble here. And they've got away. Two men both down at one end. John Edrich calling for him, Steele saying no, and John Edrich very livid there. He got all the way down, ran all the way back. A couple of misfields by the Australians. John Edrich very unhappy indeed. Well, he'll never surely get a bigger let-off than that.
That's evaded the diving Marsh. Off the pad, 4-leg buys. And the England score moving on to 199. So 199 for 1. It's still going to be Ian Chappell. And John Edrich on 91, the batsman to face him. Confident shout for LBW, but Edrich again had come a long way down the pitch when that ball struck him. And Chappell bowling around the wicket at him. So off the pad, you can see it again, the 200, the spin there from Chappell. Edrich well outside the off stump, foot a long way down the pitch. So the leg by, bringing up the 200 for England, 200 for 1.
I think Ian Chappell's absolutely right, taking the new ball now. 98 Edrich. 45 Steele. And of course, if they were to get a wicket with it very early or very quickly, then one would wonder whether Tony Greig would bring Dennis Amiss to the wicket tonight. I rather doubt that. That's going down. This is going to be his 100, I'm sure. Yes, he's running back for the second. And he's home. So John Edrich has got 100 for England. An unspectacular one, but a very, very important one indeed for England today. It's taken John 5.5 hours. And he's got a supporter coming on the field there to shake his hand, cooling him off with the towel, and here comes the copper. Still, he looks a friendly sort of chap, just enthusiastic and just wanting to congratulate John Edrich on a very important 100 today. Took him 5.5 hours, 331 minutes in fact, and he hit 10 fours.
Yeah, David Steele will be taking strike now on 45, the total on 215, and Ian Chappell pulling one right out of the hat, because instead of Thompson or Walker, it's going to be Doug Waters. Hasn't bowled before in this game. A very interesting bowling change. And he's done it again. He's broken the partnership. Now, what a tremendous ploy from Ian Chappell. He's pulled Walters in, the great partnership breaker in Australian cricket. He's bowled David Steele a full toss and taken a brilliant diving catch away to his right. There it is again. Full toss, hit back, wide of Walters, who takes a great catch, diving away onto the onside of the wicket. No wonder the Australians are smiling out there. They've waited a long time for the second wicket. It's a very, very good piece of captaincy and a good piece of batting from David Steele in his second Test match innings. Took him 2¼ hours to make that 45. Dennis Amiss had to survive 25 minutes at the close of play for his 6 not out. Dennis Lillee and Jeff Thompson were the bowlers in that period, and he got through it without any great alarms. Walters bowled only the 2. England had a marvellous chance here to take the Australian bowling by the scruff of the neck and get a sizable total at which a declaration could be made. For the Australians, well, their job simply was to contain the England batsmen. We join play with the first ball of the day, and it's Dennis Lillee bowling to John Edridge.
And confidently struck by Edridge. A little bit of a loosener there from Lillee, half volley, but very nicely put away. And if that's the pattern of the morning's play, it'll be a good day for England. So Edridge quickly into his stride there with 3 runs. That's a good shot. Much freer Edridge here this morning. Stroked that away very, very nicely indeed for 4. Half volley on the leg stump. That was no real slog. It was a very good shot. Another beautiful shot for 4 runs. And this is exactly what England wanted. So Edridge 2 boundaries already in a 3. He's added 11 runs in the first 6 minutes here. So half volley nicely clipped away by Amiss. It's Edwards in pursuit again. Amiss running well there. And the first 2 quickly, able to take the 3rd. And the sort of shot that'll do Dennis Amiss a power of good this morning. Firmly struck in the middle of the bat, moves on to 9. And that's another good shot. Really fine form being shown here this morning by John Edridge, clipping that through mid-wicket. Both bowlers coming alike to him at the moment. So Lillee bowling again to Amiss. And that's it, he's caught him in the slips. And that's going to hurt. That went very quickly. I don't think he took it right in the middle of the hand, but safe as ever, Greg Chappell clinging onto that. And it's the old story, I'm afraid, that Dennis Lillee has dismissed Dennis Amiss once again. And this is the departure again of Dennis Amiss. No movement, as you can see, at all in the ball there. But England looking for runs, and the edge catch being offered there to Greg Chappell. The short leg gone in now. And the short one hooked away. Graham Gooch having a little look round to see exactly where it did go, but it went for 4, and once again he's off the mark with a boundary. And Gooch will have to hurry. And he only just scrambled in there, a little slow and late setting off. Edridge looking for the single here off the last ball. Hesitation there by Gooch before he really gets into top gear. And a very close call indeed. And that's through the slips. Quite where he intended it, but it's going to bring 4 runs to John Edridge. 260 now for 3. Edrich moving on to 125. And the England lead on to 307.
That's 4 runs. And we move to double figures for the first time in the Test innings. Oh, well bowled. Even Edwards can't pull that one up. It's racing down towards the pavilion, into the rails. A good-looking stroke from John Edrich. Moving into Walker. The ball wasn't over-pitched. He hit it on the up. It's a good shot. And that'll be 4 more. It's also played a few running off the edge like that. And this extremely fast outfield gives the fieldsman no chance at all. Good shot, 4 runs. Really timed that well and placed it even better. Thumped it away between Edwards and McCosker. Neither had the slightest chance of cutting that off. That's one of the few half volleys Lillee has bowled this morning.
Max Walker then to John Edrich. And that's a beautiful stroke. Through extra cover. Well, that was another lovely shot. He played one very similar to that against Dennis Lillee in the last over.
11 over spell this morning at the start of this over, 1 for 33. Edrich helping himself a little bit. That will go through again for 4. Eden Gilmore, no chance of cutting it off once it beats the field down there towards the top. So the 300 coming up, 303 now for 3, with Edrich moving the score under 146. Lillee with 1 slip and an extra cover off the short run into Edrich. Tickled away beautifully down to deep long leg. That'll go racing away for 4 more. It'll bring up 150 for John Edrich. And the crowd, another good one here today, on their feet, rising to the Surrey captain as he takes his score to 152 undefeated runs out of an England score of 309 for 3. In there a long, long time, 459 minutes this innings has lasted, and he's been in occupation of the crease the whole time. 19 fours so far. It's Mullet to Gooch. He's bowled him. Actually just a little pace down the pitch, trying to get to the pitch a bit, made it into a Yorker. And Mullet takes his wicket. So Graham Gooch, the 4th man out for England, he made 31 and enjoyed a partnership of 56 with John Edrich. This is how he finally went, taking this little pace down the wicket, making it into a Yorker there. Well, the Slorts crowd have taken Tony Greig to the hearts, getting another fine reception. And I suppose the situation made here for the England captain, coming in at 315 for 4, full of confidence at the moment. Everything's been going extremely well for him, not only his captaincy but his batting as well. Made a fine 96 in the first innings. Good full swing of the bat. First ball from Greig gets him off the mark.
The overall lead is 375, and now it's Jeff Thompson to Tony Greig. It's 4 runs. Very firmly hit shot. Shot, 4 runs. Down the track to Mallett, giving himself a little bit of room for the shot. And he picked the gap nicely between extra cover and mid-off. Smashed that away past point. Very powerful stroke. That's 6. What a great shot. It went over Greg Chappell's head, but it went a long, long way over. Oh, that was a lovely stroke. Plenty of power in it, but the timing was superb. He just picked it up from round about leg stump, hit with the spin. It went straight into the area just in front of the scoreboard near the tavern. So the lead now is over 400. 402. And another fine shot. Mallett straying round about the leg stump there. He has 4 men on the offside, so this is not good bowling. Just getting away too far towards leg stump. That was another lovely stroke. So Tony Greig now has been instrumental in taking 34 off the Australians since lunch in only 5 overs. 163 to Edridge and 38 to Tony Greig. And Ashley Mallett goes off, and a very interesting bowling change. Ian Chappell is bringing himself on. A real challenge this between the captains, because the only reason Chappell would have come on is to try and bowl out Tony Greig. That's a good shot. Picked that up nicely. Well wide of Jeff Thompson. Hit it away into the pavilion rails. Nicely judged stroke that by John Edridge, and it takes him on to 168. He's now past his previous highest ever score against Australia. It was 164 at the Oval in 1968. Four more. Just that little nudge outside the off stump. There's no slip in, so it was quite safe. Thompson, the fieldsman there. That's the first time he's thrown a ball in the series. That was sidearm. He's been very careful not to throw anything over arm.
Greig already down the wicket. He's caught, driven very firmly and very solidly. And Doug Walters at short extra, clinging on to a very stinging drive there. Well, I must say, a very bright interlude there from Tony Greig. Admirable performance, exactly the innings that England needed at this stage. Caught by Walters off the bowling of the Australian captain Ian Chappell. He made 41 really exhilarating runs, and they took him only 53 minutes. And everything all through this match has gone so very right for Tony Greig. 96 in the first innings, pulled England out of the dirt, following this up with this beautiful little knock of 41. a 6 and 5/4s in it, and in the middle for less than an hour. This is Ian Chappell collecting his wicket. Tony Greig dancing down the pitch and really middling that one. And Walters taking it in the midriff. So Ian Chappell has taken himself off with 1 for 26 and has recalled Ashley Mallet. Starts off with a short one, pulled away for a single by Knott. That's in the air, could be out, and it's the end of John Edrich. So after the great long battle out there, John Edrich finally falling to Ashley Mallet. Jeff Thompson taking good running catch at deepish mid-on. And appreciation then for the Surrey captain, John Edrich. A marathon stay at the innings, the man who's really put England in this exceedingly strong position. He's out for 175 and occupied the crease for 9 hours. 21 boundaries in his innings, getting a big hand from another great crowd here at Lord's. So after 9 hours, this is how it all ended for John Edrich. Coming down the wicket. First time he's really tried to hit Mallet over the top. And Jeff Thompson judging the catch well at mid-on. Figure edge there. Shuttle diving at slip. They scramble through the 100. 400 up then, 400 for 6 to England. And there's the old streaker. He's going to be greeted when he gets back. He's probably picking up a £10 note from somebody. Bob Woolmer's turn this time. He's swung it away. He's hit it gloriously. Right into the crowd for 6. That's a fine shot. It's as good a shot as we've seen. A real good old-fashioned crack over the top of mid-off from Bob Woolmer.
Yes, you don't often see that sort of shot now, and it's marvellous to see over extra cover. And that one has gone for 6, a very, very big hit. Into the tavern bar. He really did strike that one.
Yeah, that was a good length ball, Dennis, wasn't it? And they always go much further than the one pitched further up. He really connected, picked this up beautifully. That fine 4 over the top, followed by this 6. And picked it up, gone with the spin, and many a mile back into the crowd. Woolmer here taking toll of Ashley Mallet. He's moved on to 31. And there he goes, 3rd time, and the wicket to Ashley Mallet. And that's it. There's the declaration. Tony Greig, the England captain, on the balcony, beckoning the boys in.
The declaration from Tony Greig came at 20 to 4, which meant that the Australians had to make 2 starts. Good tactics, that by Greig. They had to bat for 50 minutes, then take tea, and then there was a shortened final session they would have to negotiate to go into the final day tomorrow. The England card, Edrich 175, a good long innings, did the right thing by the side. Amos out cheaply today. Gooch played 1 or 2 good-looking strokes, and the innings of the day came from the England captain, Tony Greig, who made a brilliant 41, one of the best short innings I've seen from him. Mallet took 3 wickets for Australia, but it was a long, hard haul that had been set the Australian team. 484 to win the match, and only the greatest optimist in the world, and then one from Australia, would have thought they could possibly do it. I didn't think they had any chance at all. Their only hope was to bat out the 8 hours 20 minutes to gain a draw. The pitch still playing well, but as far as I could see, the Australians today had to make sure that they didn't lose any wickets. Well, John Snow began the bowling for England in the second innings with a stiff breeze at his back. He was bowling from the nursery end. His partner was Peter Lever, who we see now bowling to Alan Turner.
So 4 byes. Beaten there, first real play and miss on the best ball that Lever has produced so far.
It was a very ordinary sort of stroke. Turner looking down the pitch, so the ball did something quite strange. Well, it just climbed a little bit, but it was a very poor stroke away there on the leg side. No chance there for Steele to stop that. A bit too wide, and no chance for Tony Greig to pick it up either. That's a good looking stroke. Anything on that side, if it beats the field, it's generally 4. So successive boundaries now from Alan Turner off John Snow's bowling. And a change in the bowling. So the openers have got through the new ball attack of John Snow and Peter Lever. Peter Lever's been taken off, and Tony Greig is coming on to bowl his spinners.
And that's it, a little bit of turn. And that'll quieten the crowd a little bit. Brings joy again to Tony Greig. And Alan Turner caught it slip. That one turned in just a fraction. And the breakthrough England wanted. Tony Greig in his golden moment here again as England's captain, doing the damage. Gooch taking a very gentle, simple catch there at slip. Came off at a very nice, easy pace for him. And he spilled it out. A disappointed look there from Peter Lever. See again. Unfortunate he was. Low down there to Tony Greig. Good runs there. No long leg, of course.
That's 4 runs. And the leg sweep, very effectively too.
But once again, he's outside leg stump. And that hurrying away down to the ropes for 4 more. And Ian Chappell dealing largely in boundaries now. 17, including 4 fours. That's 3 for 4, way over the top of Bowyerwood's head. Really got on top of that. So the 4 to McCosker, taking him on to 30. So no ball. as the front foot overstepping the crease. Pity really, because it was a very useful ball. Peter Lever fairly confident his shout would have been upheld there by umpire Spencer.
Well, towards the end, it looked as though the best chance the England bowlers had of breaking through, in fact, was with the Australian batsmen padding up and playing no stroke. They did that 2 or 3 times, and they must have been fairly close. They finished up with McCosker on 46, Ian Chappell 25, Turner batted reasonably well for his 21, but it was slow batting towards the end. Chappell concentrated on playing for tomorrow rather than getting any extra runs this evening, and it was tough going for the England bowlers. Well, now tomorrow, the pitch will deteriorate a little bit, not all that much, I shouldn't think. It's still a very, very good batting pitch, and as far as I'm concerned, Australia still faces an immense task in getting a draw out of this. The pitch would have been wet once the covers had been removed, and Underwood and Gregg would have been in their element against the Australians. The Australians started at 97 for 1. McCosker and Ian Chappell, the not-out batsmen, and it was purely an academic target, that 484 they had been set to win the match. Certainly, once the first hour had gone, there was no chance of anything but a draw or an England victory. We joined play in the first over of the day, John Snow bowling to McCosker.
It's a good-looking shot. There's a starter, and Edwards just the man who has to chase it. Well, that rain hasn't slowed the outfield down at all. It was a good, crisp stroke, and it takes McCosker into the 50s. 101 has come up as well, so McCosker's half-century coming up in the first over of this final day. That's a good shot. No chance of cutting that off.
Played that pretty well, dropped a dead bat on it. Certainly straightened that one. A good illustration there of how to play that good, accurate leg spinner. Right over the top of it, dropping the wrist, playing it straight onto the ground. So that's England's solitary success so far as Gregg comes into the attack. 2 short legs, a slip, a silly point. Nobody out on the boundary on the leg side, and John Edrich going out on the square point boundary. And straight away into action. Short one there, a loosener from Gregg, chopped away by McCosker for a single. Leaving it this time to Barry Wood. Barry Wood, the other man on the offside. Only 2 of them there, apart from Amiss, the man in at silly point.
Well, I suppose he thought of driving that one and then changed his mind.
Underwood now to Chappell. That's short. So the whole time the Australians waiting for the short one. Another lethal shot through the offside by Ian Chappell.
think his leg there was well outside off stump. Yeah, it's a good yard outside. This partnership has now put on 90 runs. England here desperately needing another wicket before lunch, certainly. Tony Greig to Rick McCosker. That's a better one. Two slips, David Steele and Tony Greig. Down they go as Underwood comes in again to McCosker. A little bit of flight in that, pushed away quietly for a single to John Edridge. And that's 150 up. McCosker moving on to 74. Now it's the Australian captain facing Underwood. And he sweeps it away uppishly on the leg side, but quite safely. Tony Greig trying again. The batsman is Ian Chappell. McCosker is 75. The captain is 46. Ian Chappell now facing Greig. He sweeps him down to a deep fine for 4 runs. And Ian Chappell completes his 50 with that shot. They had 100 for the partnership a few minutes ago. No joy at all for England so far today. Good shot from Chappell. Barry Wood is the fieldsman. Shot. Been playing the sweep quite frequently today. Each time the bowler has strayed a fraction. Well, there's no movement, and Tom Spencer says no. Chappell made no movement at all. Let's have a look at that one again now. This is the first real shout of the day. It was taken by a man at short point. And now it's Steele coming around the wicket to McCosker, who's on 79. And that is out. Steele has done it again. He's broken through, this time in his second over. Rick McCosker, the first wicket to fall on this final day. LBW to Steele for 79, and the second wicket goes down at 169. And there it is again.
He played right across that, playing it away onto the onside. It looked as though it was just a straight ball. Also looked as though it might have struck middle stump halfway up. A long stint of concentration for Rick McCosker. Leaves the field now, 79 against his name, having made 29 in the Australian first innings. That's an interesting start. Good heavens, what a shot to start with. Magnificent six by Greg Chappell, the first ball he's received in the second innings. Picked it up beautifully, and now the man has gone around to that position at deep backward square.
Beautifully struck a leg sweep, that really perfectly timed shot before. Sweeping that one away to Underwood. David Steele to start his 7th over. The chase round for Underwood, the lone man out in that mid-wicket area. And 2 runs there to Ian Chappell, bringing up the 200 for Australia. Too much enthusiastic applause there. As Ian Chappell moves on to 75.
That ball turned, Jim. It looked as if it turned quite sharply. Yes, it did, and also it lifted. Well, that's 4 runs. Beautiful shot by Ian Chappell. There is no mid-off there. And that's Ian Chappell's 12th 4 as he goes to 80. What a brilliant piece of fielding there by Tony Greig. A bad ball. I'm not sure that it wasn't a catch. Oh, yes, it was. Very definitely a catch.
It's all the way through for 4. Wasn't all that short either. It was a good shot by Greg Chappell. Very quick movement of the feet there. No ball. Bit of catch in practice for Barry Wood. That's away for 4 more. Anything that's been dropped the slightest bit short, Ian Chappell has taken a very heavy toll of. Moving on towards three-figure mark here, Ian Chappell on 86. He's the fourth highest run getter in Test match history in Australia. And he's given him out. Good long look and an error of misjudgment there by Ian Chappell, allowing that ball to strike him on the pad. So Ian Chappell, the Australian captain, falls to Tony Greig with a score on 86. Played a couple of sweep shots round about leg stump prior to that. And that one looking to be a perfectly straight ball from here. See, his left foot hasn't gone very far down the pitch. Just outside the crease, no attempt to play it, and up goes umpire Spencer's finger. So a fine innings there from Ian Chappell. Really seeing his side through right past the middle of the afternoon here. Eventually falling for 86 with a score on 222. So 222 for 3, but still only 2 Australian wickets gone down here today.
And what a good ball. Oh. That was a good delivery. See how sharply that ball turns. And Graham Gooch just failing to get to it.
Well, umpire Alley's given that as runs. I don't know that Underwood's all that pleased about it. But it takes Greig Chappell on to 29. 240 for 3 wickets. Peter Lever's the man coming round under that. A vital catch this, and he couldn't quite make it. 2 runs to Greig Chappell. Greig Chappell getting that, I think, on the outside edge. A little bit of dust flew up as well. Lever couldn't quite make the ground.
That's 4 runs. Certainly can't bowl short outside the off stump to Ross Edwards. It's money for jam to him. So the 251 up, 3 wickets. So Ross Edwards moves on to 15, 34 to Greig Chappell. And it looks as if Tony Greig is going to take the new ball. So it's going to be John Snow from the pavilion end with the new ball to Greig Chappell. Well, that's 4 runs. A very friendly full toss outside the leg stump, which got what it deserved. Yes, this is only John Snow's 4th over of the day. He's dropped him. Yes, David Steele has dropped him at leg slip. Came out pretty quickly. Greig Chappell chipping it away. And it's hit David Steele in the tummy and down onto the ground. That was rather a bad miss. That's a full toss, and that's gone down for 4 runs. So both fast bowlers with the new ball have dropped a full toss at the batsman, and each have been dispatched for 4.
That's a good delivery from Lever. When he bowled from the pavilion end this morning, he was getting a little bit of extra bounce. So with this second new ball, Snow has had a chance dropped, and Lever has just fired that one past the edge of Ross Edwards' bat. And a good delivery it was too. Edwards was late on the stroke. He was beaten for pace. In the end, he played straight, but the ball just moved away enough to miss the outside edge.
3 slips and the gully, 2 short legs, 3 short legs, yeah. And pleasantly struck through a big gap there, no mid-off. Chase, unavailing chase there for Dennis Amiss. And Greg Chappell in turn going through to his 50. Full of good shots. Been overdue for a few runs in the Test match, missing out at Birmingham in the first innings here, but making up for it now. 50 coming in 97 minutes. So 6 and 6 fours in it, and made out of a score of 273 for 3. And again, no problem on the back foot, pushing it away through mid-wicket for 4. Short again, another glorious shot from Chappell, forcing it away through extra cover. Really has played some wonderful strokes. Numbers and figures and things. So a single there to Ross Edwards brings up the 300 for Australia. He's made 28 at this stage. Greg Chappell 68. Little applause from the members, but the cricket certainly lacking interest and excitement now.
That's a great shot. Well, Ross Edwards continuing on that good form he showed in the first innings when he made 99. Done it again. Another good firm stroke by Ross Edwards. Really cracking that square cutaway. And what a stirring fight back this has been today by Australia, and some good fighting cricket too by the England bowlers, striving for that breakthrough. Good shot. I don't think I'd like to be David Steele standing in that spot there, just 3 yards from the bat. Good shot. Takes Ross Edwards on to 46 now. It's a very productive over for this right-hander. 5:30 is the earliest the game can end. The schedule is 5:30 or 6 o'clock. And if that reaches the boundary, it will be Ross Edwards' half century. And it has made it. So Ross Edwards, 2 half centuries in this Lord's Test match, and Tony Greig has called it a day at 5:30. So the second Test match is drawn with the Australians 329 for 3 in their second innings. Greg Chappell and Ross Edwards, the not-out batsman. Greg Chappell 73 and Ross Edwards 52.
The first 2 days, I've said before, and it's worth repeating, they were 2 of the greatest days cricket I've ever seen since I've been mixed up in the game. It slowed down in tempo towards the end, but this does happen in cricket. And it was still absorbing today when the Australians at times were fighting for their lives. In fact, I thought that if they lost a couple of quick wickets today, that they could have been in real trouble with some of the lower order batsmen coming in different circumstances from those that were operating.